What would it be like to make money on your own terms, to work on the projects you actually enjoy, and to make the kind of money you feel like you deserve? Well, all that is possible through the power of freelance. My name is Ashley Cisneros Mejia, and I'm the host of the Talk Freelance to Me show. I've been working as a journalist and professional freelance writer for almost 20 years now. When I was a magazine editor, and later when I had my own digital marketing agency, I also had a chance to hire a lot of freelancers, from writers to designers to programmers and more. Today, as a mom of 3 little kids, I'm dedicated to helping other women writers and creatives get started in making money on their own terms from their own gifts. On Talk Freelance to Me, I'll be interviewing amazing writers, journalists, editors, designers, and every kind of freelancer you can think of. We'll be exploring all things freelance, from ways to find great paying clients, pricing strategies, using systems and automation, and so much more. If you've ever wanted to monetize your own writing skills or other creative skill, if you've ever wanted to make money on your own terms or design a more flexible life that you just love, then this show is for you. To get started today, I wanted to record a quick video and just let you know what freelance means to me and how I even found myself in the freelance world. So my first freelance win came when I least expected it, but when I really, really needed it. This was a time when I was feeling very low. It was a cold day way back in February 2009. Hey, it was cold for Florida. Anyway, I was 26 at the time. I had recently graduated from a master's program in entrepreneurship for working executives. So I was working at a magazine. And I had just purchased a real estate property, a condo. I had been living independently since I was 18. So at that time it was about 8 years of living on my own. And suddenly I found myself moving back to my small North Florida hometown. 4 months earlier, my world was turned upside down and I was laid off the day after my birthday for my magazine job. The Great Recession was roaring. The advertiser dollars dried up and my job was eliminated due to budget cuts. I was an overachiever my whole life, and a perfectionist and a people pleaser, and I never really failed at anything. I felt defeated, but I couldn't wallow for very long. See, I had an underwater mortgage to pay and $17,000 in student loans because of this master's degree. So I applied for jobs like it was my job for months on end, and I finally landed a role as a tech writer for a government defense contractor. Now, this was going to be way different than journalism, and I would have to move. But I was grateful to be working at all because that was a hard time for a lot of people. Now, I was about 4 hours into a 6-hour drive back to my hometown, and it was just me and the long, skinny Florida longleaf pine trees and the seemingly endless 2-lane road. I had the radio turned up. I was listening to the country station because hello, North Florida. And it was Darius Rucker on the radio singing "It Won't Be Like This for Long" through the radio of my 1997 Toyota Camry. Then the phone rang and I didn't recognize the number. I thought, was this Wells Fargo? Is this about my mortgage? I almost ignored the call, to be honest, but I decided to answer it, and I'm so glad I did. The reception was bad, so I found the next exit and I pulled over just in time. It was the manager for a custom publishing company in New York City. He found my little profile on a media website that I had joined months before when I was actually looking for full-time work. He had an opportunity. He wanted me to write attorney profiles and advertorials, sponsored content, for the company, but he wasn't looking for a staffer. He wanted a freelancer. He told me that the rate would be $1 per word and asked, "Are you interested?" And I had to pick my jaw up from the floor, remember to respond, And my words just tripped over themselves. I said, yes, why yes, I am very interested indeed. Well, that specific client, the custom publishing company, became one of my longest and most profitable freelance clients. And for the next 7 months, I was hustling. It was hustle season for me. During the day, I would work at my tech writing job, and I would be writing white papers for the US Navy, trying to get government funding for different projects. And at night, I would be freelancing, both for that publishing company in New York and a handful of magazines that I picked up along the way. If I needed to conduct interviews, I would go straight from work at 5 o'clock, find the nearby Dunkin' Donuts, park in the parking lot, jump on their Wi-Fi, put my cell phone on speaker, grab my laptop, and I would be calling attorneys from all different cities in the country, just typing feverishly, interviewing them, and creating stories. Now, where I worked and where my mom lived, where I was living at the time, was about 45 minutes. So I would use the commute to call my boyfriend. Yes, I had a boyfriend. So this tech writing job was great. It was giving me a way to earn income. It was giving me an opportunity to learn new skills. But I really miss my boyfriend. We were college sweethearts. Now we were 6 hours apart. Dating long distance was hard for us. And 6 hours was a big deal for us. So before long, I realized something. I actually looked up from my desk, did some calculations, and realized that I was making more for my freelance than I was my day job. I could actually replace the income. So after lots of debate and talking, I decided to quit my job. Yes, that job, the new job that took me 3 months to get, that I had only been in for 7 months. I decided to move back to Orlando where I was living and move in with my boyfriend. See, during the time where I was struggling and dealing with the layoff, his career was climbing in healthcare. He is a registered nurse, he still is. And at the time he was working the night shift. He was working like a madman, getting shift bonuses and overtime and differentials and socking money away. The real estate market, because it was so bad, it was a great opportunity for him to get a foreclosed property that would be our first home. He renovated it on the weekends with his uncle, and we decided it could be our home. I was so nervous to tell my parents because they're very conservative and religious, but they actually took it okay. And that boyfriend, well, he is my now husband. He proposed. We got married. We saved our money for 3 years to pay for an amazing 250-person wedding. That's still the best party I've ever been to. We have 3 beautiful kids today. And so when I tell you that freelance allows you to design the life you love, I'm not exaggerating. That freelance opportunity gave me a way to pay for my bills, to live in the same city with my now husband when the market was horrible, when there were no jobs in my industry. That's what freelance did for me. And when I had kids, I was able to stay home and be with them and go to SAC meetings and field trips and PTA. That's what freelance has done for me. What could freelance do for you? With that, we have come to the end of our very first episode together. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk Freelance to Me. If you have enjoyed this episode and you want to stay up to date with the latest content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Leave me a comment below about if you're a freelancer, tell me how you got into freelance. If you're an aspiring freelancer, tell me what kind of impact freelance can make in your life. And with that, I'm Ashley Cisneros Mejia. See you next time.